No.
Just flick the thing up.
Where is it? Oh.
On the microphone.
Yeah, I know that. Thank you. This room is really too small to require a microphone, but I wanted one anyway. So. You alright?
Yeah!
Well, I'm glad you are, because I'm not. Yeah, my name's Hayley, and I'm consistently disappointed by humanity. Yeah, you know how it is. But yeah, I'm sort of pretty much 90% of the time sort of angry. And I don't really like people, which is a problem for me because there's a room full of them looking at me. But I'm a fresher, so I've recently come to university where I've had to meet lots and lots of new people I don't like. Which is, it's fun, there's one. No, but the thing is about you get like an assumption as a fresher that you're going to go out and get completely shit-faced and you wake up in a pool of your own sort of alcohol-scented, like dry encrusted vomit, and with a string of different men at each morning by your bedside, sort of a slight burning sensation every time you piss. Which is why it surprises a lot of people when I tell them that I don't actually drink. So that kind of lifestyle sort of has evaded me. But when I tell people that I don't drink, I always get the same response, which is sort of like, "What do you do?" Like as if there's nothing else ever. And they always sort of act as if like alcohol is the only thing that keeps us going. It's the only thing we could ever need. And without alcohol, life is essentially just sort of clinging to a rock, flying through space, hoping and praying for death. Hoping that death really is the end, because if it's not, well, what fucking hope is there for any of us? But I mean, I'm fine, I don't worry about me. I don't need alcohol to be a civilised member of society. Yeah. So, that's another thing that I get is, what do you do? But one thing that also happens is whenever I tell people, oh, I don't drink, they always sort of I would do it, but there's not enough room, take a step away from me. So that's not obviously going to work. But, there's that ruined. But they take a step away from me. But I find that weird because you can't catch it. It's not like a disease. Like I've not been born with it. Otherwise I wouldn't really leave the house and inflict it on other people. But out of curiosity, does anyone else in here not drink? Oh, one person! Oh, we're in a club. No one ever answers that, and that's the end of my joke.
Sorry, I drink every. That right there, I gave him that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alcohol.
But no, yeah, it's fine because we're in a coffee shop, so you're all sort of on my turf. Except for you can fuck off. But no. Yeah, people take a step away from me as if they can catch it, which I find is kind of odd. And I sort of think, what's next? Like, will it get to more of an extreme if the sort of drinking sort of, society in this country gets worse? Would it be like people will cross the road to avoid me, or like sort of shield their babies, sort of feeding their children sort of breast milk, sort of laced with gin and disappointment? Or like what if I go to like a toilet and there's like segregated toilets for people who don't drink? Like, I'm sorry if your piss isn't 60% vodka, you can't piss here. That sort of thing. Things like you go to Tesco's and they're scanning your food and they're putting it in the bag and they say, I'm sorry, there doesn't seem to be any alcohol in this bag. Oh no, that's because I don't drink. You have to use the Tesco's down the road. How it is. But just things like that. And like I worry that like it'll get to a point where people who don't drink will be, like my friend over here who doesn't drink, will be hiding, orange juice under the bed, buying whiskey, pouring it down the sink, that sort of thing, to make it look like they've got a drinking problem. And the wife comes home one day and finds like a hip flask under the bed filled with orange juice, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, well, it's Bucks Fizz, honestly, don't lie to me. There's no alcohol in this, you've got a problem. But yeah, I get a lot of judgment for that, and I'm sort of on the same tangent and segue as judgment. Recently I went to a beautician's to get the entire portion of my lower body waxed, which for any of you who've not done that, don't. It's sort of like, I can only describe it as someone ripping off your skin and then hitting the affected area with a piece of wood that's on fire. No. But on the plus side, it's as smooth as the arse of a child now. All good. But no, when I was getting it done, the woman asked me, sort of trying to take my mind off of the searing pain of my vagina. That, she asked me as she ripped my soul out through my minge. She asked me if I had any tattoos because she said the pain from the first wax is always the most painful and it's similar to the pain of getting a tattoo. And obviously she established she didn't have any from here down. But you know, and she said, have I got any? And I said no, but I was thinking about getting a Batman themed one. And immediately her voice changed tone and she sort of laughed at me, and I say sort of, and I just mean outright laughed at me. And I thought that was a bit odd that she was judging me for liking Batman, despite the fact that she pulls hair off of vaginas. But you know, on the same sort of theme of vaginas and judgment, which is quite, I understand is quite a specific sort of bell curve of comedy. That's my sort of genre I'm taking it. But no, a while ago I went to see some comedians, and there's a lot of male comedians on the bill because there's usually more male comedians than female ones. And for some reason, like they were all being like extra sort of like masculine that night. I don't know what was in the air or what, but they're all just being like, they're all really asserting the fact that they've got dicks. It was really weird. And there was this one guy who was making a lot of sort of like sort of sex jokes and stuff, and I'm not really offended by any of that. I just I find it sort of as funny as the next person. And but I think he was worried. I was sitting right at the front as well, and I think he was really worried that because I have a vagina, that I was like it was offended. Because he was talking about blowjobs and shit, and like every now and then he'd be like, I'm joking. That's your job. I'd be worried if you weren't. But you know, and it was really strange. And like I think about 3 of the comedians that night all had jokes that had a punchline of, and then I got a blowjob. And I thought that was a bit weird because it's not really a punchline, is it? Like I imagine for a guy getting a blowjob isn't like funny. Like, it's more something you would enjoy rather than laugh at. Like, imagine if you were giving someone a blowjob and then suddenly they're like, ah, ha, ha, yeah, suck it, bitch. If they start doing that, fucking leave. They're probably going to kill you in the next breath. Fuck on my balls, you hilarious hoe. You know, and I thought it was a bit odd that all of the sort of like, it was funny from the male point of view, because it's quite funny from the female point of view, but I wouldn't imagine it would be for a man. But like, a while ago I was, you know, giving a blowjob, and just going to put it out there, and I just sort of had this moment where I sort of looked at his dick and went, who invented this? Like, who thought, I'm going to put this? And like I just thought, what a revolutionary design that idea. And then I started thinking about when the first blowjob was, and stuff like that. And I was like thinking, throughout history, when did it start? Think of all the blowjobs that have ever been, and are happening right now, and when did it happen? And think of all the lives and all the people involved. You know, they've all got families and hopes and dreams and loves. And then I was having like an existential crisis. And I just sort of went, I've got a dick in my mouth. And that's my lots.